Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today I'm going to be talking about my top 12 favorite books that are cozy and perfect to read during the holiday season. These are not going to be horror and thriller books, so if you're interested in those, go watch yesterday's Vlogmas video, which I will link above and below for all of those recommendations. These are going to be the non-horror and thriller recs, contemporary, emotional, speculative romance books for the winter and holiday season. But before we get into the books, I want to talk about today's sponsor, which is Bright Cellars. If I am anything, I am a wine girl, and Bright Cellars is absolutely perfect for me because they are a wine subscription box. All you have to do is take this really simple 7-question quiz, and they match you with wines that are perfect for your taste. Here are just a couple of the wines that I got in my 6-bottle box. First, here we have a 2020 Pinot Noir and a 2021 Rosé Pinot Noir. So apparently my taste is Pinot Noir. I also love the look of this bottle. I have loved every single wine that I have tried from Bright Cellars. They're really great at matching your preferences to your tasting quiz. And they also send over the cutest guides so you can sound really smart when you are tasting and describing the wine. For example, this Color Fast Pinot Noir has notes of strawberry, cranberry, rose, and orange blossom, and it tells you a serving temperature as well as pairings. It makes wine really easy and really accessible. Plus, Bright Cellars is running an amazing deal right now. If you use my link down below, you can get $50 off your first box and then an additional $20 off your second. That makes every single bottle of wine in a 6-bottle box less than $10. If you're already going to buy wine at the grocery store, this is a lot more affordable and a lot more convenient. If you're looking to treat a wine lover in your life this holiday season or treat yourself, I highly recommend going down below and checking out Bright Cellars. If you've been thinking about trying it out, now is the perfect time to sign up. So check out that link, and thank you so much to Bright Cellars for sponsoring this video. All right, now let's go ahead and get into my cozy holiday book recommendations. I have to start out with one of my favorite authors to read around this time of year, and that is Fredrik Backman. He does have a book that takes place on Christmas. It's a little teeny tiny novella that I read last year on Christmas called Deal of a Lifetime. It is a super emotional contemporary story with a little bit of speculative twist about a father and son who have been estranged for years. On a cold Christmas night, they are finally reconnecting, and the father actually has a very unique deal of a lifetime, you might say, where he has the opportunity to trade his life for a child who is sick and dying. But before he can, he has to get the measure of what his life is worth by talking to the person who's been hurt the most by him, his own son. This is a very short and quick read, but it holds a lot of emotional depth. It was an easy 5-star for me. And if you want to dig into a little bit of the meaning behind the season, get a little bit introspective going into the new year, this is a perfect read for that. Another one of my favorites by Backman is the Beartown series. 2 years ago, I read Beartown. Last year during this time of year, I read the sequel, Us Against You. And this Christmas, I plan on reading the third one, The Winners. This series is another emotionally heavy one, but it carries perfect vibes for the winter season. It takes place in Sweden, and it is very snowy and cold the entirety of the novel. The book follows a town called Beartown, and Beartown, their entire economy, worth, everything is based on their hockey team. You heard that right. Their local hockey team. These people in this town are like unhealthily obsessed with hockey. And they treat the boys on this team as if they are gods walking the earth. So when one of them gets caught in a scandal involving the head coach's daughter, it divides the town and puts everyone who lives there in moral and financial jeopardy. People are having to make really quick moral judgments in huge dilemmas of character, and we follow a ton of perspectives of all the different people in the town and how this is affecting them. This one is so heavy and emotional, but it's also a really important book with a lot of trigger warnings, great commentary on rape culture and how we treat survivors of rape. But I also understand that's a hard topic for a lot of people, so just know what you're getting into before you pick up this book. If you do decide to pick it up though, it is so phenomenal. Please let me know if you read it. I would love to talk about it with you. It is one of my favorite books of all time, and I just think it's so important. Next, let's talk about my favorite cozy YA book, and that is Let It Snow by a few authors, including John Green. I know, what am I doing? This is a horror and thriller channel. Why am I recommending John Green? It's because I love this book, y'all, okay? Not a lot of John Green holds up for me from middle school and high school, I gotta be honest, but this one just does it for me. I don't know what it is. I am such a sucker for a bunch of individual stories that end up all converging and coming together at the end. And that's exactly what this is. We follow a bunch of teens on Christmas as they're all going through their separate dilemmas of life and love, and they all come together at the end. There is cute romance, zany antics, and a whole lot of Christmas vibes. And it has an adorable adaptation on Netflix that I watch every single year. I absolutely love it. And if you're looking for something lighthearted, sweet, just vibes, this is perfect. I also think winter is the perfect time to read a cozy mystery. My favorite cozy mystery series is the Finlay Donovan series. Starting with Finlay Donovan is killing it. If you, for some reason, don't know the synopsis of this book, it is so funny. We are following a single mom who is a thriller author, and she's meeting with her literary agent in a Panera Bread, talking about the plot of her next book, which obviously is going to involve murder. The woman in the booth behind her overhears the conversation and misunderstands, thinking that Finlay Donovan herself is a hit woman. So she offers Finlay a job to kill her husband. And Finlay's really surprised and finds this funny, but she also starts to consider it because she's in a nasty divorce with her ex, who's just an absolute piece of shit. And she's trying to take care of her kids, making it as a struggling author. So she actually considers doing the hit. This sweet little single mom and author literally goes on a quest to commit a murder. There's some super fun romance in here, really great holiday vibes, and this book has a surprisingly great mystery plot as well. It just really has everything. And if you're looking for a fun, lighthearted read for Christmas, maybe you're looking for some fun escapism that you don't have to think too hard about during this time of year, Finlay Donovan is perfect for that. I can't wait to read the third one. If you're looking for a little bit of a speculative, fantastical, sci-fi adjacent book to read during the switch over to the new year, I would highly recommend Una Out of Order by Margarita Montemor. This is one of my favorite books of all time. We follow our main character, Una, who is turning 18 in the year 1982. And she was born on New Year's Eve, so she literally has her birthday as the year is turning over into the next year. But something goes wrong on her 18th birthday, and she wakes up in a completely different year of her life. This is when Una finds out that she is destined to live her life out of order. Every birthday at the stroke of midnight, she ends up waking up in a new year of her life. So she goes from 18 to 43 to 75 to 20 and all over the place. She just lives the years of her life completely out of order, and what she does in previous years affect the future ones. So she tries to fix things, change things, get things right, and then she will wake up years later only to find out that it didn't change a thing, or it completely ruined something, or it made something better. This book is so twisty, so dramatic, so emotional. If you're a character-driven reader, you're gonna get so attached to Una like I did. I love her so much. She's one of my favorite main characters I've ever read from. Following her journey is so entertaining. I could not put this book down from the moment I picked it up. And because it mostly takes place on New Year's time, there are a lot of scenes of Christmas and obviously New Year's parties. It's perfect for this time of year. And it just spoke to me on such a deep emotional level. There are a lot of like moral lessons that you can take from this book. It has a lot of commentary around like what matters in life, how you value your life at the end of it, and the little things that we do every year that can dramatically change things down the road for us. If you're gonna take any recommendation from this list, I highly recommend this one. And the second half is going to be all my favorite holiday and wintry romances. Starting with my very favorite one, which is The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. I read this one last year and I was so pleasantly surprised. Well, first I was duped. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. First I was duped. I went into this book thinking it was a sapphic romance because there were two women on the cover and I did not read the synopsis. This is not a sapphic romance. This is about two twins who end up swapping lives for the holiday season because it's a mutually beneficial thing for them. I'm not going to go into the whys and hows, but they end up switching places like they used to do when they were younger, and each of them falls in love with a random man who was there in her sister's life all along. It is very Hallmark, but it's not super cheesy. I really liked our characters. I think the twins were both really relatable, and they each had their own distinct personalities. This book has so many fun Christmassy holiday vibes. It was just such a great time to read, and the plot kept me completely entertained. I never got bored with the fluff. If you're gonna read a holiday romance, I recommend this one for sure. There's also two romances as you're reading for each twin, so if you don't quite click with one, you have another one. It was such a fast read. I literally read it in 1 or 2 sittings, I think. And it was just like watching a cozy, warm Hallmark movie during a wintry night. I loved it. Next up, we have In a Holidays by Christina Lauren, which is a romance with a little bit of a magical realism twist. We're following our main character as she brings home her boy for Christmas to meet her family, but she ends up like slipping and hitting her head at some point, and then it throws her into a Groundhog Day-esque scenario where she is living the same holiday day over and over and over and over until she figures out what the purpose is. It's kind of that whole like, what's the purpose of life, reason for the season, da 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 kind of plot in the background of a holiday romance. And the vibes in this book were just absolutely immaculate. A lot of people did not like the plot, and I'll be honest, it is a little bit repetitive, but what I really loved in this book were just the straight vibes, okay? Snowman making competition, wrapping gifts, decorating the tree, drinking hot cocoa, holiday shopping. It's all in there. I think if you want like an audiobook to have on in the background that's just like Christmas vibes while you're baking, yeah, girl, this is the one. This is the one. My next recommendation is for the girlies who love drama, and that is One Day in December by Josie Silver. This book is crazy. Okay, I gotta be honest, this book is crazy. One day in December, our main character locks eyes with a guy who is in a bus, and she wants to go meet him, and the bus drives away before she can go meet him, and she's like, damn, I just fell in love in that singular moment that I locked eyes with that man. What a shame, I will never meet him. And it becomes this like running joke with her and her roommate that like she was destined to marry busboy and she'll just never find him. So that's like a fun thing in their relationship. And the next year, her roommate is like, hey, you should come meet my boyfriend. We're having this Christmas party, come and meet him. So she goes to meet him, and it's exactly what you're thinking. the roommate's boyfriend is busboy. So our main character is in this dilemma. Do I tell her that this is busboy, the alleged love of my life that I met in 10 seconds and fell in love with? Or do I just let her have busboy and be sad and alone, even though my entire life's purpose for the past year has been tracking down busboy? Drama ensues from there. This book is dramatic as fuck. It is crazy. Second you think you have things figured out, another thing happens to complicate the plot. It is all over and up and down. And listen, all these characters make bad decisions. They're unlikable. It's like Gossip Girl if they were not super fucking rich and not 12 years old. It's just crazy drama, but there's also a romance plot, but this is not like a feel-good romance, you know what I mean? It's just like crazy drama romance with holiday vibes. Now, if you're a girl who loves spicy holiday romance, the next recommendation is for you. And that is Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. Oh, I love this book. Oh, I love this book. This book is Spice Central, okay? If you don't like smut, don't read this book because it is so hot. If you get your Bright Sellers box, you're gonna want a bottle of this while you're reading this. Our main character is super angsty, super edgy, super dark, poor, down on her luck, and she's admiring one of the beautiful window displays on Fifth Avenue during the Christmas season when this guy is like, hey, what do you think of the window? And she's like, actually, I'm not admiring it. Joke's on you. It literally looks like shit and I could design it way better because I'm a designer, but nobody will give me a chance because I'm just a poor girl down on my luck. And the guy's like, hey, I'm actually the CEO of this department store and I'm gonna hire you to redesign my window. And she's like, wait, really? And he's like, yeah. And then they fall in love and they've all over the store, so. And it's a grumpy sunshine where the girl is grumpy and the guy is sunshine, which is my favorite kind of romance ever on the whole earth. I am obsessed with this book. It is just straight vibes the whole time. It is so good. It's so fucking good. If I could read this again for the first time, I fucking wish I could because wow. That's all I have to say. Now, if you're a girl who likes pure, sweet, adorable romance, the next one is for you, and that is the 12 Dates of Christmas by Jenny Bayless. We are following a woman who works in a bakery in a small little cute adorable town that's like one of those towns that you would see like a little Christmas village, you know, those little like miniature Christmas villages. Yeah, she basically lives in that town, and she signs up for this like singles event where she goes on 12 blind dates and they're all like cute little holiday things. So we're following mainly our main character. It's like more of her journey rather than a romance, as she's going on all these fun holiday themed dates. And she's also running her little bakery and being a little single woman who's trying to figure out life. This is another one that just feels like a cozy Hallmark movie. It is so much fun. I think if you're a single person who is just sick of the apps, you would really love this book because there's a lot of commentary about that, along with sweet romance, holiday vibes, and wintry atmosphere. It is absolutely adorable. I will say it is a little long. I felt like it kind of dragged a tad, but I also wasn't super into the romance. So maybe it was that for me, but if you're just in it for the Hallmark vibes, you're gonna love this one. Now, if you're an emotional romance reader, you should definitely pick up One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid this holiday season. This one is so emotional. It literally ripped my heart out, threw it on the ground, and stomped on it. This book is about a woman who is married to her college sweetheart. She's in love with him completely. Everything is perfect. And then he dies in a plane crash. Literally tragic. She's grieving. She doesn't want to move on. She moves home to be with her parents as she's recovering, and boom. She meets someone from her past that helps her grieve, and she ends up dating him for a long time and getting engaged to him. Years later, as she's engaged to this new guy, her freaking husband is found. Can you imagine? He's found alive. He basically comes back from the dead because she's like, what? I already grieved you and now you're here, huh? So obviously her husband is like, hey wife, we're married. What are you doing engaged to this other man? But she like has this whole deep nuanced relationship with this man who helped her grieve her husband who was now standing in front of her. Can you imagine the emotions, the moral dilemma? I literally could never. I love reading romances about established couples. As a long relationship engaged girly, that is just the romance that is the most relatable for me. And this one is one of the best I've read. It kept me on the edge of my seat with her decision, who she was going to go with, what she was going to do, how she was going to handle everything. And this book also takes place over Christmas and holiday time. There's great winter atmosphere. At one point, she goes on a little winter getaway with one of the guys to like this secluded little snowy cabin. The vibes are just perfect on top of it being a hard-hitting emotional romance. I absolutely sobbed at the end of this one. It's perfect. And the last romance recommendation and book recommendation in general for this video I have is for everyone, okay? Everyone should like this book, would like this book. I love this book. It is actually a series, and that is The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. I love the couple in this book so much. Calla and Jonah are absolutely fucking adorable. I can't wait to read the 4th book in the series this holiday season. This book is perfect because it takes place in Alaska, so it's super atmospheric and vibey. And it is a grumpy sunshine romance, but this time the girl is the sunshine and the guy is the grumpy. And it follows these two opposite characters, one who is a grumpy, cynical Alaskan bush pilot, and the other who is a high maintenance Barbie kind of peppy little sunshine girl. They at first get off on the wrong foot and they absolutely hate each other, but of course it is an enemies to lovers romance, so they come around to falling in love. And it is just so, so cute. The way that they push each other's buttons, I love it. And there is also a grief aspect to this book as well, because the reason why Calla, our main character, is going to Alaska in the first place is because she gets word that her father is dying and they've been estranged. She lived in Toronto, he lived in Alaska, and she ends up flying to Alaska to spend the holiday season with him since it might be his last. She wants to connect with him before he passes. It is so emotional in those aspects, and seeing how Jonah helps Calla through that whole experience with her father's illness is just so heartwarming. It has the winter atmosphere, it has the holiday vibes, it has the emotional romance, and it has the actual character development and plot that really helps you get to know Calla and love her as a character. It is perfect all around, an easy 5-star read, and I highly recommend the rest of the series if you like the first one. So that is going to be it for my cozy winter book recommendations. I hope you guys got a good one from this video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you again to Bright Cellars for sponsoring. Don't forget to go down below, hit my link, and get $50 off your first 6-bottle box of Bright Cellars wine. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and don't forget to read a book and go to therapy this week. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye! Happy Vlogmas! So